Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So we got a new DOKKANFEST TUR on the list. I probably should have did this a couple days ago, but here we are, a little bit late. DOKKANFEST Master Roshi comes out. I feel like we could kind of move a little quickly through the end of the list, and then we could talk once we get a little bit higher. At number 10, I have Gamma 1. I am surprised Gamma 1 is still here. Now, let me also grab number 9, which is Frieza. I don't know. I feel like people might want Gamma 1 above Frieza, but I do feel like there's a lot of abilities a character could have that could be better, right? So, like, Gamma 1, in a lot of instances, could go slot 1, right? Whereas Frieza cannot. That is, like, you know, kind of like extra points, right? Or, like, a certain character could have, like, a Ghost Usher, all these things. But at a certain point, it's just natural power creep. Characters are just going to be beefier overall. Just easier numbers, easier defense. Like, these things just come more natural than characters that are older, right? It's like, I don't know, an older character that has dodge can compete a little bit, but not like just some monster, you know, DOKKANFEST LR that comes out or something like that. And Frieza just has come out so long after Gamma 1. And, I mean, it really is just very easy for Frieza to sit in slot 2 and, I mean, have a sizable impact. Frieza can get to a point where he's doing enough damage that he can have a real impact with his damage. I don't think as many characters can have an impact with damage as much as people think it does. Certainly no way. Especially in the way this kind of year's meta is, where you really have to have one of the Titans on the team, or it is a real struggle. But I just could not drop Frieza off the list or put him below. I mean, I have Gamma 1 at 10. Within the next couple of slots, I mean, you could probably argue 23rd World Tournament Goku, maybe Yamcha, Piccolo Jr. a little bit. Maybe you could meme around and say 17 and 18's Ghost Usher, Super Trunks' Ghost Usher, God Goku. There are several characters who could, like, the 10th spot is like just like 5-6 characters long. I would give it to Gamma 1 because he can synergize well with the LR Gammas. The problem, though, is Gamma 1, I mean, he does guard right away. And, I mean, if you still have his intro up and he's guarding and he's got the damage reduction built up, he is very, very tanky, especially if he's next to the LR Gammas. But it's like, it's just so easy to just jump into one of the newer stages and this guy just gets blitzed like a Thanksgiving Day turkey out there. Like, Gamma 1 had a legendary run. I would consider Gamma 1 a Hall of Fame Dokkan unit, for sure. But, like, his time is long since passed. The only reason he's sitting on here is just because 2023 is, you know, the worst year in Dokkan history in terms of character designs. And Frieza probably would be a bit higher even. I would easily put him above Hildegarn and Dragon Fist. Just, again, he just feels a little bit more of on, like, a beefier level than them, but Hildegarn and Dragon Fist have got dodge. I mean, I'm talking about him so we can just grab the next two, Hildegarn and Dragon Fist. But Frieza just does not have the team to compete. I do even feel a bit, I don't know. I can't drop him off, and I just cannot find myself to put Game 1 in front of him. I can't. People can be mad at it. Totally fine. I can't bring myself to put Game 1 above Frieza or drop Frieza off the list entirely. Hildegarn and Dragon Fist are the next two. I don't know that I really need to talk about them too much. Hildegarn is a bit better than we thought. Because if we take a look at this, every time Hildegarn dodges in the turn, he gets 10%. That stacks. So the first attack aimed at him, 70% dodge. He dodges it, then he's at 80% dodge. He dodges that, and then he's at 90% dodge. Somehow, Hildegarn is designed like that, yet I don't know that I've had a character die. Only, like, Broly, Chi, and Lemo have died for me more than this character. I can't explain it. Because, like, UI Goku's design is very similar. Except AJ UI Goku's got the revive, and he also has the turns of 100% dodge, which make a big difference. But I feel like Hildegarn should have just been a crazy character for me, and I don't know. I mean, if you want to lose, you could run Hildegarn. But, I mean, Hildegarn is definitely better than Frieza, right? Like, if Frieza's team is going to work at all, it's because Hildegarn is dominating, right? Frieza's team is only winning if Hildegarn is dominating. Dragon Fist is solid. I mean, he could take some damage if he's not dodging, but at any point, you could pop that Scouter, have the Dragon Fist up. That is still very, very good, right? That guaranteed nullification. It's like, you know, we look at the hardest boss in the game right now. Well, hardest fight in the game, Goku and Frieza. I would probably say hardest boss might be 17 and Golden Frieza. But this guy with his Dragon Fist, I mean, you can't really tank Goku and Frieza that much. The Dragon Fist can work there. I just find this guy to be a pretty tight character. The thing is that the way he's designed, you don't really want to rock him in slot 1 unless you're in a standby. He's solid, but yeah, there's that. Next we have Rose. Yeah, okay, so we have Rose. The last time I did one of these lists, I did not have Rose. Now, Rose was kind of on an island by himself, but, I mean, now, the Super Bosses has just had so many buffs. It's definitely a very competitive team, and especially with Cell Max existing, who's, you know, easily a top 3 character in the game. Rose's pretty good. I've seen some good performances by Rose, right? Like the Blue Kaioken Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta boss, which I would rank as like the second hardest fight in the game. And I saw Rose double-digit tank their super attack in slot 2, right? He could do pretty good. Now, I mean, he was directly buffed from his original release on Global. He now has an extra additional, which he did not have on Global. So that obviously is very good for him. But Super Bosses was made to be much more effective. I think if Frieza had like a really solid team, he'd be up closer to Goku Black level, is what I'm kind of thinking. Now, I mean, Goku Black, I think you could maybe even, if we could do his domain kind of like on command, you would still never put him in slot 1. This is like one of the most worthless abilities I've found. This matters if you're going against an int boss. If you're going up against an int boss, that could be useful. But that shit is trash. If that was 90% damage reduction until attacking, that would be much better. But it's just not really too good. Maybe it's just an ability that's just designed to protect him from AoEs. Maybe that's it. I mean, if I just think about it as just an extra ability to protect against AoEs, I mean, that's certainly good. One thing that's very effective, the major reason I like this guy in his transformed state is because he becomes a Rainbow Orb Changer. That's probably the biggest thing that I really care about there. But we know how domains work. It's very clear to me that the domain update that they talked about, I think they were talking about to UI Goku's domain effect, where he has that special remove dodge canceling effect. I truly believe that's what they were talking about. I don't think that there's some other update coming at all. I think that's what it was. So now we just have Super Bosses with Tech Fusion Zamasu, Physical Rose, and Broly fighting over the domain spot. If you want to win, typically you're going to want to use Broly's domain. So I don't know. I don't know. Just very, very tough, very tough. But we have Rose right there. Yeah, overall, Rose's good. One thing, I mean, we could grab Roshi here. And, I mean, one thing that can keep, I think, Rose and Roshi, to me, from really mixing with some of the top 4 characters, is Rose and Roshi's inability to go in slot 1, which I think does truly matter, because the biggest path towards success in this game is not doing a million, billion, trillion damage. I mean, if you could, like, one-shot a boss or something like that, like, sure, cool. But the problem is that the bosses attack before you, right? Which happens almost always. So, because the boss attacks before you, that means defense is more important than offense. Period. Because you can't kill the boss before they kill you. Unless it's a specific situation, say, Big Bang Vegeta, right? And you've stacked up a lot. Maybe he drops like a 50 million crit, kills the boss. Sure. First form Frieza. 50 million crit supernova. Sure. But just like LR Broly, LR Broly does not kill the boss before the boss can touch it. It doesn't happen. The boss gets to attack first. The boss dictates what happens. That, to me, does keep Rose and Roshi a little bit behind. And in particular, in this meta, Goku and Frieza, Beast Gohan, Sword of Hope Trunks, End of the fight, Cell Max. Literally all only super attack in slot 1. They only super attack in slot 1. So the very best characters can handle those run-killing super attacks and allow you to continue on. But Roshi is crazy. Roshi is very tanky, I've found, in slot 2 or 3. He, of course, is able to have a lot of damage reduction. He has a lot of support. His active skill is really strong and really easy to use. He's just very good. I think, I mean, you could probably make some similarities between these two. Roshi probably has a better team because of the UI Gokus being around. Whereas, I mean, it's just like, you know, the UI Gokus is a King Kong upgrade over like Broly, Chi, and Lemmo, who kind of have to fulfill the same role in Super Bosses that the UI Gokus fulfill on Roshi's team. But I value Roshi's support more than Rose with his million attacks, kind of like damage dealing situation he's got going on. Now, if Rose does, you know, 5, 6+ attacks in a turn or something, he can be pretty tanky, quite tanky, just like Roshi can. But again, I much value Roshi's big support, like right here, and this. I value that over Rose doing damage, right? Because, I mean, Rose is just a TUR. Roshi's just a TUR. Roshi's directly making Tech LR UI Goku, AGL LR UI Goku, top 5 characters in the game, just directly better. I really like Roshi. The only thing about Roshi is his team does have an over-reliance on dodge or die characters. I mean, you're talking Kefla, Videl, UI Goku, maybe you want to run Yamcha, Bunny Bulma. I mean, these characters are all dodge or die. It's like you're dealing with these bosses on Roshi's team mostly by dodging. So, I mean, you can lead to a lot of deaths. Obviously, a lot of wins, right? But a lot of deaths as well. Next, we got Toppo here. Toppo is just very, very good. I feel like Toppo is a heavily disrespected character by the community. It's almost like people forget that he is a rainbow orb changing support character who guards, and then once you transform, has guaranteed crits and 80% damage reduction with guard. He's just a ridiculous, ludicrous, silly character, Toppo is. Very, very powerful, very elite. And a really good defensive character that's also supporting, also rainbow orb changing. This guy is just great. He's great. Again, easy to go in slot 1, which, I mean, just separates him from Roshi and Rose to me. Next, we put Vegeta. And I could just say Buu and Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I really did not see any reason. I'm not seeing anything from doing these events that would make me switch this. This is what I've had previously as well. I'm not seeing anything in my runs that would really make me want to change that. Vegeta can dominate the whole game. I think early on in certain fights, Blue Kaioken Goku Evolution Blue Vegeta, Cell Max, Vegeta could get killed early on before he goes into Super Saiyan and stuff like that. That is one thing to note with him. Vegeta is obviously super powerful, though. He's one of the sturdier characters, very balanced unit, can be great defensively, can have just killer offensive abilities with his active skill. He's got one of the, better actives in the game. It feels like when you get Vegeta's active off, you're winning. It's just, he has one of those feelings to me. Vegeta gets that active skill off, you win. Vegeta, I feel like, has had some of the smallest discussion around him. I think Vegeta might have the least amount of discussion about him compared to any great unit we have ever seen. Because I think it's just so obvious how good he is. And there's just I don't see Vegeta downplay. So much discussion for characters would start if someone is really overplaying a character or really downplaying a character. I've never seen Vegeta downplay. People are not saying Vegeta's #1 overall or anything like that. So Vegeta, to me, seems like maybe the most properly rated character ever. Everyone just knows how good he is. Period. That's it. Right? He's got all the tools you need to be a great character. He's just incredible. Amazing character. That's it. Fat Buu. Fat Buu does get disrespected a bit. I don't know. Dude, Fat Buu's impact is so monstrous. when you talk about like his revive, I mean, it can be annoying, right? If he, doesn't get killed by the enemy and then the character after him gets killed or something like that. But between his revive and his ghost usher, he is so huge in some of these big fights, man. The ability to just essentially remove 2 turns from play when you're dealing with all these other abilities. You got to get to turn 5 to do this, or turn 7 to do this, or something like that. Fat Buu is just so good. Fat Buu is such a character that, I mean, these goofballs in 2 years are going to be running Fat Buu with no leader skill and shit like that. Like, just the way he's set up, he's just very good. The Ghost Usher Revive combo is super strong. He's got defensive stacking. He can just be strong no matter what. He's just an insane character. Now, to me, I value what Super Saiyan 3 Goku is doing, I think, a little bit more. Just a traditional, it's this. This shit right here is so nutty. This is why, like, I'm sure some people, like, I've actually seen some people say, like, oh, Super Saiyan 3 Goku's like 4 or something like that. And, I mean, that's just, no offense, but you're just smoking dick. You go into, like, the Cell Max fight, Blue Kaioken, Evolution Blue Vegeta fight, they can't touch him. You go into Goku and Frieza, you want to know why that fight is so nasty? Because you go from 17 Locks into 17 and Golden Frieza who cancel dodge. Well, you know which character cannot be killed by 17? This guy. This guy. 17 can't do shit to this guy. And, oh, by the way, 17 is also a Ki Blast super attack boss. So even though 17 would do 0 damage to this guy, 17 would still seal him, but you could just counter, dodge it, nullify it. I think that the way this guy is set up, with this huge damage reduction at the start of the fight, it just makes him so strong. So good defensively, and he really can take a lot of pressure, take a lot of these hits, and let other characters finish the fight off. Now, one note I will say about this guy. Most of the time I've used him, he has been damage checked by Goku and Frieza. So even though he's an AGL character, even though he's critting a lot of times he's not doing enough damage, for me, to do damage to Goku and Frieza. Which is certainly something to make a note of. But he's still really good in the fight. Because Goku and Frieza are not damaging him out of slot 1. And he's so defensive for the troublesome parts of the fights, which is 17 and then 17 in Golden Frieza. So I think his performance is good enough. Even if a character was really bad, I mean, I don't know. If we're talking about best TUR, though, maybe if you're really bad in the hardest fight, I mean, I can't consider you, like, best TUR or something like that. But I think Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku's tremendous in that fight. Now, in terms of this, I kind of have it set up just like this right here. I don't think Roshi and Rose are quite on the top level. Because, again, those characters... Fat Buu is not slot 1... But, I mean, he can just save you 2 turns with his Revive and his Ghost Usher. So, even though he can't go slot 1 like the other 3, he still can really save you from the scariest shit. Right? Fat Buu is one of the better characters to get around 17 and Golden Frieza's bullshit. So, that's why I kind of have Roshi and Rose separated. I thought about putting Roshi on the same tier with them behind Toppo, but I thought of it. Originally I had DragonFest, Hildegarn, and Frieza in the same tier with Roshi and Rose, and then I thought about it and I was like, nah, let me push them down 1. And then Gamma 1 just feels just a little bit of a level below, which makes sense because he's literally about to hit 2 years. The fact that he's, in 3 months, he hits 2 years old, and he's still on this is insane. But again, it's because 2023 was terrible. In terms of, like, character power and stuff like that, right? Like, we had some crazy characters like Bulma and stuff like that, but most of 2023, the units were just pretty poor in 2023. So let me know what you guys think. Huge changes compared to my last TUR list back in April. Crazy to think about, but Rose came out, and at the time it's like, I'll just not update this. And then, we get Cell Max, we get Super Easy Goku Black. The team feels good. I saw his really good performance against Blue Kaioken, Evolution Blue Vegeta, and I'm like, yeah, we got to get him on there for sure. Yeah, 21 and God Goku. Pff, get out of here, man. God Goku, he can be okay, but he's dodge or die. Dude, he's dodge or die, right? Like, he's just going to be dodge or die. 21 just ain't good enough anymore, right? Gamma 1 isn't either, but there just aren't better characters, right? So, let me know what you guys think. Top 10 DOKKANFEST TURs. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.